Hello and welcome to the champion bracket. Here we have all of the championships from the various subpools. Wanna go ahead and just get this rolling though, because this is going to be a bit of a longer match. Up first we have Husk up against Xderp 7. Xderp 7 we saw do quite a number on his subpool, mainly because of, just being inescapable. But the distractors for Husk seem to be doing a pretty good job of keeping him occupied. Meanwhile, the antimatters and torpedoes, of course, do what antimatters and torpedoes do. And this one's coming right down to the wire. Although, Xderp does still have quite a few ships left alive. That might be a big ask for this one ship to kill. Especially when it gets flanked like that. And Xderp takes round one. The two watchers keep getting split up like this, and it's not going well for them. The Piraras want the people to be split up. That's how they surround and feed. And this round is basically over. Up next we have Terabot and Command Execute. Terabot's massive armor allowed him to do pretty well in his subpool, but Command Execute's bringing a lot of plasma cannons to bear. And that could pose a bit of an issue, but at the same time I feel like Terabot still has the advantage here in the brawl. Although I think Command Execute's kiters were actually responsible for more than a couple of its wins. And have a good night, Floof. And Terabyte takes round 1. The longevity seeming to pay off rather well for him. Call it Swiss cheese fleet. Have a good one, Floof. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, it does look like Terabot is poised to take this one as well. I mean, it's Swiss cheese. That means it did a mandatory service period in the military, and it took its service weapon with it. So, you know, not a cheese to be trifled with. And now we have Husk up against Command Execute. I think they actually did fight in the subpool, didn't they? Or am I making that up? Let's see. No, they didn't. This is also a new encounter for both fleets. And Command Execute takes round 1 with a pretty solid lead. And Command Execute takes the match, meaning Husk is out of it for the champion bracket. But now we've got Quan up against Drills. Plenty of fleets meeting each other for the first time. I like it. But it looks like Jill's probably has this one. I don't know. He might have. He seems to be having a difficult time actually catching up, but the AI did just derp quite a bit. And when an AI derps, things change very quickly. Oh yeah, well I got to be the only person who didn't have to put pants on. Just gotta look on the bright side, right? And Drills takes round 1. And I think Quan's armored ship is just a little too brave, and I think that's probably going to get it killed again in this round. And a lot of it is owed to the disrespect behavior. The distractors for Drills are cheap enough that pretty much anything is going to immediately trigger disrespect behavior against them. And disrespect behavior is a killer. And Quan did manage to take round 2 though. A lot of it, the big ship from Drills is pretty necessary, and I think the missile ship did manage to kill it or something like that. Yeah, this kiter for Quan really has been kind of a superhero though throughout the whole tournament. It definitely deserves some credit. But next up we have Terabot up against Excerpt 7. And you can see Terabot doing quite a bit of work. The heavily armored nature of his ships was a problem for, or well, was a problem with similar fleets in the subpool for Excerpt, and the problem persists here as well. And Terabot takes round 1. Yeah, I do like the visual as the Pararas arrive on target. Everything just kind of gets pushed back. Yeah, this is a pretty brutal bracket. Yeah, the one fleet that you're perfectly suited to dealing with, Splinter. You don't want that fleet to win. But yeah, I'm gonna need to step away for a bit to take care of the little guy. But I'm of course gonna let the tournament continue running. But I will be back shortly. And I'm back, at least for a little bit. And it looks like Nico Ni managed to defeat Owl Feathers. And I think either way, this is going to be a rough fight for Owl Feathers' fleet. But still, either way, all the fleets that are here have certainly earned their place. Yeah, I think the sheer mass of Drill's flagship is going to pose a problem for Owl Feathers' fleet. It can both take and deal just a little too much damage. Yeah, I am fond of the way Owl Feathers' fleet looks. He always brings that that sort of bits and pieces everywhere appearance to his ships. I really appreciate it. Actually, I think these two... I think we already know how this one goes. Yes, we do. And with the fishies going to the grave, that's the last... I think that's the last hard counter to debris. So, Splinter, your worst fear may yet come to pass. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing is real. Christmas is a lie. Yes. Thank you, Laps. I'm glad someone got it. And Drills takes the match. So up next is Clem Hazard versus Debris. Yeah, oddly enough, both of these fleets used spacers, and I think they were the only fleets in the entire tournament to use them. And they both made it to the champion pool. That's weird. And Debris takes the match. So let's see. We have Miku Symphony, Kamikaze Dalek. I think Miku Symphony, I think he might have the advantage here. Yeah. One missile volley from the right angle took out the battlecruiser all by itself. And Mika Symphony takes round one. The battleships are a little too slow, and crystalline missiles fly forever, giving them a ton of range, but they also don't move particularly quickly. On top of that, Mika Symphony has plenty of point defense to deal with those missiles. Yeah. The problem with crystalline PD is that it's trash. And Mika Symphony wins. So now, yeah, all of the hard counters to the Tinker Fleet are gone, so Splinter's Nightmare is looking very plausible. And much like we saw with Mika Symphony, crystals have always struggled with kiters, and this is no exception. Tearing apart the plasma trucks, or the proton sword trucks, though, as one might expect. And now we have Quan up against Terabot, who they fought in the first sub-pool, and I want to say Quan won, but I don't remember. Is that orange, like, cleaner thing? Cleans with the power of oranges. Alright. Have a good night, Kamikaze Dollar. Appreciate you joining us. Look at that, that distractor just got lit up. And another one gone, and another one gone. Wow. 30 seconds on the clock, and Terabot just stole the lead by about 1,000. Check that out. Quan actually won this in the subpool. Terabot's apparently not having it this time around. Oh, nope. Quan got it back. A solid 30 seconds of, inspiring matchup. The problem with tractors is that a 14-point tractor beam generates less force than generates half as much force as an 8-point thruster. And physics shenanigans. Did you see that? He's still recoiling from that. I'm not even sure what happened there. Now, tractor beams are alright against missiles, because missiles have relatively low thrust, but they don't really work on ships. Terabot's killing it this round, though. Quan's gonna have to work his ass off to get this point lead back. Yeah, I'd kind of like to see, instead of tractor beams, just have it like a gravity manipulation thing. 'Cause there's already enough weird imaginary sci-fi things. And instead just have it apply extra friction to whatever it is. So, you know, like doubling the friction coefficient would slow down fast ships and missiles, but let both of them still move. That kind of thing. Yeah, harpoon guns would be pretty cool too. Then you could make the, what are they called? Reavers. Or, you know, get good Norky. Actually, what would make it make tractor beams really good against missiles and ships, exactly as they are now, or well, keep them good against missiles like they are now, and make them better against ships without having to get all fiddly with the stats, would be like the coefficient thing, but also then apply the force just the same. Yeah, I would like more effects that could be done with the with reassembly. For a game with a fairly decent physics engine, to not be able to use it is kind of a shame. Actually, I bet if you took reassembly and altered the star map... Hey, Quana's physics cheating again. I don't even know what's going on with that. But if you took reassembly... Looks like it has drones in there or something. No, those are missiles. No, I think it has drones, and that's causing the physics freak out, maybe. But if you change the background of the game, instead of being like a star map, make it kind of look like ice. I mean, you wouldn't even have to change the rest of the mechanics. The game would actually probably make more sense on ice. A mod for reassembly that changed the ground physics and map. I had never heard of such a thing. I'm guessing it mostly just upped friction, so that ships didn't like glide around, and they behaved less like thrusters and more like tracks. I really like Deserts of Karak. It was a pretty solid game. Yeah, it was a big balance patch, I saw that. I was pretty surprised. I thought the game was kind of abandoned. I think it was all multiplayer balance patch too. I don't know if you do that kind of thing. Some people play homeworld games for the story, some people play homeworld games for the multiplayer. You can see the one mortar ship. Just like, don't worry guys, I got him. The FC's just like, no, 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 no! And then he charges in, all Leroy Jenkins style. Yep, Jules took round one, although it was pretty close, but Kwan's kiter was having a bit of a time dealing with all the distractors, especially when you consider how many there are. Yep. Sword trucks. They are pretty serious. And Jules takes the match. Let's see who's left. Getting down to the wire. Debris versus Miko Symphony. Like I said, I think this is going to go in Debris' favor. And yeah, when torps hit walls, they inherit some radial velocity on account of the whole collision with the wall and not having a flat shape. And they don't have torque, so the radial velocity just gets bled down by friction, which takes a while. Have a good one, FGG. Thanks for joining us. I'm pretty sure FGD is in China, though I could be wrong. Oh, right. New Zealand. Even more Easter. It doesn't look like Clem Hazard's terribly long for this world either. His proton trucks were unable to do the job, which left Miko Symphony's much larger and more spammy ships to do their thing. The big thing about Terrans is that they have some of the best weapons in the game, but a lot of them are a little wonky to use sometimes, or they're just not very flashy. Like proton swords and lasers aren't very flashy, but they are very strong. Torpedoes are probably my favorite weapon in the game, but against highly mobile targets, it's difficult to get them to work right. Oh, this is going to be a 3000p ship. It gets 3 proton swords. You see, the trick is to put the torpedoes on ships that drive into point blank, so the PD ends up shooting the ship, and then the torpedoes just do their thing. It also decreases your chance to miss. Yeah, but Twin Dome didn't have a shitload of armor. I'm thinking like, you know, Drill's battleship? Instead of plasma cannons, put an equal amount of torpedoes on it. And just watch the sparkles. Because I think for each of the larger plasma cannons you can have 3 torpedo launchers. You could actually just take the chassis and use that same octagon so that you can kind of get the angled torpedoes too. It wouldn't fire backward, but, you know, feel bad for anything in front of it. Honestly, I'd kind of like to see painting hull akin to how Cosmoteer handles it. I mean, you can. I think you can already paint individual blocks, can't you? Enough. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the Tinker already have a 45, don't they? But yeah, the 301690 or whatever it is. I would really like to see that on the Tinker. And Clayton Hazard takes the match. So now we're getting close to the quarterfinals here. Oh yeah, that's right. The battle for who's the defender of mankind. Yeah, Clem won this one in the sub pools. A post-tourney fight against debris. I could maybe do that. Glim's down 400 points in less than a minute to go. Last minute reversals, man. Last minute reversals. They're pretty real. So now we have debris against Terabyte. And this one, I don't remember if they fought before. No, they didn't. No, I'm feeling like debris has the advantage. His range and speed. And debris's been doing well against tough targets so far. But no one can ever really fully account for the AI. Now, Terabyte's on the winner side of the bracket. So if he did lose, it would have had to have been before the bracket actually started. Oh yeah, that he might have. Who's he up against? Yeah, his first fight was up against Miku's Symphony, who I think he probably did lose to. It was one of those three-way tie pools. And his match was actually the second. There was that farmer fleet in the middle. The guy who just sent in campaign fleet. You guys hear this? No, he stopped. He was having a little puppy dream and running in his dream. And like, I guess he was barking at whatever he was chasing. Sometimes you're just too damn cute for your own good, you know? And now we have Clem Hazard up against Terabot, which I think Clem might actually have the advantage here. I forget. I think Clem certainly has the potential to just stand back and siege all the big ships to death. And nothing Terabot has is fast, and with limited long-range capability. So this one depends very highly on the AI. And where did this sword truck nomenclature come from? I don't know where it came from, but I like it. The drones are actually being launched by these little guys. And they're just basically 4 drone launchers and some thrusters. Yeah, what I like about the little drone guys, they have all of their thrusters are off center of mass, so if they get spinning somehow, like say something crashes into them, they can't really stop. They just kind of spin for a while. Although the Terran core does generate some torque, it doesn't really generate enough to reliably slow them down. Yeah, it's almost over now though. Labs. Just this match and then I think one more. Yeah, the range is one of the reasons I really like the Tinker drones. The Tinker drones have 700 range, which actually outranges the defense cannons from Terrans. And Clem takes the match. So finally, we are at the finals with Debris against Clem Hazard. Both of them being Team We Brought Spacers. Yeah, interesting bit about Nameless. You'll notice he wasn't in the neophyte pool, was he? Dun dun dun. Yeah, that was one of the things I told Debris when he sent his original. He was just like, this looks a lot like Duke's ship, doesn't it? I was just like, yeah, but like it's a dual gun tankerel. All dual gun tankerel look about the same. There's only so much you can do when your whole faction has like 3 blocks. Yeah, that was the big thing that I told him about his design compared to Duke's, is that Duke's did that zigzag fire pattern. Debris just kind of like vomits out a pile of bullets. And sometimes it's in a line, sometimes it's just on a like slant. A little bit. I could see the similarity. I think my ships had more damage mods and fewer rate of fire though. I feel like my bullets were bigger, but that might just be me not remembering. Well, with the other factions, you have to put thought into like your ship layout and all that stuff, and you have to figure out what weapons you're going to use and what angles to point the weapons on. With Tinkerel, you pick how many guns you want and how big they're going to be. that's basically it. And Debris wins it, so congratulations to Debris on winning the tournament. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.